The carnival had always been the brightest thing in town, a burst of neon and laughter that came once a year to the cracked parking lot on the edge of the highway. Kids begged their parents to take them, teenagers slipped in past the gates after dark, and families gathered around the sticky sweet smell of cotton candy and sizzling popcorn. It was supposed to be safe, a place of joy, a place where childhood memories were born under the twinkling glow of carousel lights. But for one family, the carnival was where their childhood ended. Her name was Emily Carter, 11 years old, with straight brown hair that always seemed a little too long and a laugh that carried across the rides like wind chimes. She went missing one sticky August night while walking between the funhouse and the Ferris wheel, and no one, not the police, not her parents, not the frantic neighbors, ever saw her again. The carnival left town the next day, like it always did, folding up its metal skeleton and disappearing down the highway in a convoy of trucks. But something stayed behind. Not Emily. Not her body, not her shoes, not even a scrap of the yellow sundress she'd been wearing, just the sound, that laughter. It began a year later when the carnival didn't come back. By then, the parking lot had gone to weeds, the cracked asphalt pushing up dandelions and beer bottles. Kids still hung around, daring each other to climb the broken fence, spray paint the walls, or sneak a cigarette where the Ferris wheel once loomed. That was when they heard it. The giggle, high-pitched, musical, faint at first, drifting on the evening breeze. Some thought it was just in their heads. But when more kids claimed they heard it, all saying the same thing, that it sounded like a little girl, laughing, echoing around the darkened funhouse that no longer existed, rumors spread. Parents warned their children to stay away. Teenagers made it a dare to go in at night, and the laughter never stopped. By the 5th year, the carnival grounds were completely abandoned. The rides had been left behind, rotting in place, as if the carnival owners knew better than to come back for them. The Ferris wheel leaned like a dying skeleton, its paint stripped and rust eating away at its joints. The carousel horses were chipped and cracked, frozen in a mockery of joy. The funhouse mirrors stood in jagged shards, reflecting moonlight like broken teeth. And yet, every night, if you stood in the silence long enough, you'd hear her. Emily, laughing. The Carter family had long since moved away, unable to bear the whispers that followed them everywhere. Unable to drive past the empty lot without hearing their daughter's voice in their heads. But some people stayed behind. People who swore they saw her. The first was a boy named Tyler, 14 years old, who claimed he saw Emily sitting on the top car of the Ferris wheel. It had been locked and rusted for years, unmoving, but one night as he biked past the lot, he swore the wheel had turned. Just one slow, creaking rotation. And at the very top in the frozen chair he saw her, brown hair, yellow sundress, swinging her legs and laughing. When he blinked, she was gone. Then came reports from a security guard, an old man hired by the city to keep vandals out. He lasted 2 weeks before quitting, saying he couldn't take the noises. He wouldn't say much more, but one night his wife claimed he woke up screaming, saying he'd seen a girl darting between the rides, her laughter echoing around him, closer and closer, until she whispered his name. And now, a decade later, no one dares to go near the carnival after dark. Except me. My name is Claire Johnson. I was Emily's best friend. We were the same age, inseparable since kindergarten, 2 halves of every childhood memory I carry. We were both supposed to go to the carnival that night. I was grounded. My parents caught me sneaking out the night before, and Emily had gone alone, promising me she'd win me a stuffed bear from the ring toss and tell me all about the rides the next morning. But there was no next morning. For 10 years, I've lived with the guilt. If I'd gone, maybe she wouldn't have disappeared. Maybe I could have stopped it, or maybe I'd have vanished too. I never knew. And that not knowing burned inside me until I couldn't take it anymore. So here I am, standing at the rusted gates of the abandoned Carnival with nothing but a flashlight, a backpack, and a recorder in my pocket. I've told myself I'm doing this for Emily, to prove she's still here, to hear her voice one last time. But deep down, I know I'm also doing it for myself. Because the whispers in this town, the rumors, the half-told stories, they're not enough. I need answers. The air is heavy as I step inside. The smell of rust and old rain clings to the weeds. My flashlight beam cuts across the skeletal Ferris wheel, frozen against the night sky like a dead god. The silence is suffocating. My sneakers crunch on the gravel. And then faintly, so faintly I think I'm imagining it, I hear it. The laugh. It's small, distant, playful, like Emily used to sound when we played tag at recess. My throat tightens, my breath catches. It's her. It has to be her. I push deeper, past the carousel with its chipped horses, their eyes wide and glassy in the beam of my flashlight. Past the game stalls where prizes hang like deflated corpses, their fur matted and gray. Past the funhouse, its shattered mirrors reflecting me in jagged fragments. The laughter grows louder. "Emily!" My voice cracks as it leaves me, swallowed by the night. The sound pauses. For the briefest second, there's silence. My skin prickles. And then closer, clearer, the laugh returns. It's coming from the Ferris wheel. I run toward it, gravel kicking under my shoes, flashlight bouncing wildly. The rusted wheel looms higher with every step, its cars swaying gently in the wind. At the base, the metal is twisted and sharp, paint peeling in long strips. I shine the light upward, and freeze there, in the highest car, a shadow, a figure, small legs swinging. The laugh trickles down like falling glass. "Emily," my whisper cracks. The figure tilts its head. Slowly, too slowly. My heart slams against my ribs. And then, with a groan of metal so loud it shakes the night, the Ferris wheel begins to turn. The rust screams. The cars sway. Dust rains down. The ride that has been dead for a decade is moving. And the laughter is all around me now, circling the carnival, bouncing off the rides, a chorus of giggles that no longer sound like just Emily's. There are more, so many more. Children laughing, dozens, hundreds. I stumble back, my flashlight shaking in my grip. My breath fogs in the cold night air. My mind screams to run, but my legs are rooted to the ground. The Ferris wheel creaks, turning, turning, until the top car comes down, closer, closer, until it's right in front of me. Empty. The laughter cuts off. The silence is worse. I swallow hard, my throat dry, my flashlight flickers. And in that flicker, for just a split second, I see her. Emily, right in front of me, yellow dress, hair in her face, smiling. And then she's gone. The flashlight steadies. The carnival is empty, but I know I'm not alone. I'm never alone here. Because the laughter has started again. And this time, it's right behind me. I don't turn around right away. Every instinct inside me is screaming to run, but I'm frozen, my pulse a drumbeat in my ears. The laughter behind me isn't just Emily's anymore. It's layered, overlapping, a dozen children giggling, their voices weaving together into something that doesn't sound innocent at all. It sounds hungry. Slowly, I force myself to move. My flashlight trembles as I lift it, the beam cutting through the weeds and rust. Nothing, just the cracked pavement stretching back toward the gates. Empty, but the laughter doesn't stop. I whip around, pointing the light at the Ferris wheel again. The cars sway gently, the rust groaning. No one's there. My chest is tight, my breath shallow. "Emily," I whisper again, softer this time, like a prayer. And then, faint and quick, like a child darting between shadows, I hear it, the slap of bare feet against pavement. Running, fast, I swing the flashlight left, right, spinning in circles. My beam catches glimpses of movement, something small, something quick, slipping just out of sight behind the carousel, under the game stalls, around the funhouse. Each time, laughter follows, echoing like a cruel joke. I stumble backward until my shoulder hits metal. The Ferris wheel looms above me, cold and skeletal. The laughter swells, filling the air, bouncing off the rides until I can't tell where it's coming from. And then, silence. Dead, suffocating silence. I'm panting, trying to steady my breath when I hear a voice. "Claire!" It's my name, whispered right in my ear. I whirl around, my light flashing across empty air. Nothing, no one. The laughter erupts again, louder now, shrieking, high-pitched. But this time, underneath it, there's something else. A scream. I stagger forward, my sneakers scraping against gravel. The sound is coming from the funhouse. The building is a ruin, boards nailed across the entrance, windows shattered, the once bright paint peeled away to gray. My light sweeps across the words scrawled in spray paint on the wall, "Don't go in." But the scream is still there, muffled, buried under the giggles. I push the boards aside and slip inside. The air is colder here, heavy with the smell of rot and mildew. My beam reflects off broken mirrors, dozens of them, jagged shards clinging to the walls. My reflection stares back at me 100 times, warped and twisted. My mouth stretched too wide, my eyes too hollow. I move the light quickly, not wanting to see myself like that. The laughter echoes, distorted through the glass. It's everywhere. I can't tell where it's coming from, whether it's in front of me or behind me or inside my own skull. "Emily," my voice shakes. A shadow flickers in one of the mirrors, not mine. Smaller, a child's, I spin, shining the light directly where it should be, but there's nothing there. I stumble deeper, my sneakers crunching glass. My reflection stares at me from every angle, my face pale and stretched, my eyes darting. Then in one of the mirrors I see her. Emily, standing behind me. I spin, flashlight slicing through the dark nothing. I turn back to the mirror. Empty. A whisper ripples through the glass. "Stay!" My chest heaves, my grip tightening on the flashlight. "What do you want from me?" My voice echoes too loudly, bouncing off the broken walls. The mirrors answer with laughter. I stumble backward, my shoulder knocking against a frame. The glass cracks, splintering outward in a spiderweb. A thin line of blood wells on my skin, stinging. And then I hear it, a child's voice, sweet and clear. "Help me!" It's not laughter this time, it's a plea, desperate, weak. "Emily!" My throat burns with the word. The voice comes again, softer. "Help me!" I chase it, weaving through the shattered halls of the funhouse, my flashlight beam darting from mirror to mirror. My reflection warps and bends until I can't even tell which way I'm going. The air feels thicker with every step, like I'm walking underwater. And then, finally, I see it. At the very end of the hall, in a mirror that hasn't shattered, Emily is standing. Not her reflection, her real whole. Her hair hangs in her face, her yellow dress torn and dirty. She lifts her head slowly, her eyes locking with mine. "Claire," she whispers. My chest caves in, tears blur my vision. "Emily," her lips move again. One word. "Run," the mirror explodes. Glass rains down, slicing my arms, my cheeks. I throw my hands up, stumbling backward. The laughter roars to life, deafening, crashing around me. My flashlight flickers and dies, darkness. I'm gasping, my hands outstretched, blindly feeling my way. The air feels wrong, too thick, too close, like something's pressing against me from all sides. My heart is racing so hard it hurts. Then, fingers. Cold, small fingers wrap around mine. I freeze. The hand squeezes. Hard, too hard. Bones grinding into mine. I scream and rip away, stumbling into the wall, cutting myself on jagged glass. The laughter swells, hysterical now, filling every corner of the funhouse. I fumble with the flashlight, slamming it against my palm until the beam sputters back to life. I whip it around, nothing, just broken mirrors, empty air. But my hand still burns where something touched me. I can't stay here. I bolt, sprinting back the way I came, tripping over debris, slamming into walls. The mirrors flash my reflection back at me, dozens of me, each one twisted, grinning, laughing, though I'm not. I burst through the boards, out into the night air, gasping. The carnival is silent again. The Ferris wheel looms above, the cars swaying gently. The carousel creaks in the wind, and then I hear it. Not laughter this time, music. The carousel is turning. Slowly, its horses rising and falling, the organ wheezing out a warped, broken tune. I stagger closer, my flashlight trembling in my grip. The horses' painted eyes glisten in the beam, their mouths frozen open in chipped grins. And then I see it. In one of the carousel horses' saddles, something small. A teddy bear, brown, worn, one eye missing. My breath catches. Emily's bear, the one she took to the carnival that night. I reach out with a shaking hand, fingers brushing the rough fabric. It's real, solid, and then, faint, drifting from the spinning carousel, I hear her voice. "Ride with me." I stagger back, my chest heaving, the bear clutched in my hands. The carousel creaks, the music wheezing louder. The horses rise and fall, their mouths stretching into endless grins. And then, one by one, the horses turn their heads toward me. Their eyes roll white. Their mouths open wider, and they laugh. The sound of laughter spilling from the carousel is so wrong it makes my stomach turn. It's not Emily's laugh this time. It's deeper, harsher, mocking. The carousel horses clack their wooden teeth together as the organ grinds out its broken tune, and their glassy eyes roll to follow me. I clutch the teddy bear tighter to my chest, its fur damp with years of rot. My hands are shaking, my breath ragged. Every instinct is screaming at me to run, but my legs won't move. The horses rise and fall in a jerky rhythm, their chipped hooves scraping against the platform. The laughter swells, a chorus of voices spilling from painted throats. Their grins widen, too wide, splitting the wood. Cracks form around their mouths, splintering outward like spiderwebs. Then, without warning, the carousel jolts to a stop. Silence. Every horse freezes mid-motion, their heads cocked at impossible angles. Their glassy eyes stare at me, unblinking. My chest rises and falls with shallow gasps. I take one shaky step back, and that's when one of the horses moves, not up or down, forward. Its front leg jerks, splinters snapping as it drags itself off the platform. The wood creaks, cracking under the strain, but it keeps moving, its painted grin splitting wider as it lurches toward me. I stumble backward, nearly tripping over the gravel. My flashlight beam wavers across the thing as it drags itself closer, its hooves clattering against the pavement. Then another horse follows, and another. One by one, they step down from the carousel, their legs splintering, their painted faces twisting as they snap free of the ride. Dozens of them circling me in the dark. The laughter rises again, spilling from their wooden throats, a chorus of mockery that makes my blood run cold. Emily! I scream, though I don't know if I'm calling for her or begging her ghost to save me. The carousel organ screeches to life, shrill and broken, the tune warping into something manic. The horses circle closer, their heads twitching, their glass eyes reflecting my flashlight beam like animal eyes in the dark. I clutch the bear tighter, my knuckles white. Stay back! The laughter swells, the horses freeze, and then all at once they collapse. Their legs snap, their bodies splinter, and they crash to the ground in a rain of wood and paint. The sound echoes like bones breaking. I'm left standing in the silence, my breath ragged, surrounded by broken horse parts scattered across the gravel. I don't wait, I run. My sneakers pound against the cracked pavement as I tear through the carnival, my flashlight beam bouncing wildly. My chest burns, my lungs screaming for air, but I don't stop until I'm at the edge of the lot, staring at the rusted gates. But the gates are gone. Where there should be an exit, there's nothing but more carnival. The funhouse, the Ferris wheel, the carousel, the gates are gone as if they never existed. Panic claws at my chest. I spin in circles, my flashlight slicing across the shadows, but every direction I look it's the same. Rides, games, darkness. The carnival won't let me leave. My knees weaken and I drop to the ground, clutching the bear. Tears sting my eyes. Why? I whisper into the night. Why are you doing this to me? The silence answers. And then faintly from the darkness, Emily's voice. You left me. I jolt, my head snapping up. No, I choke out. No, Emily, I couldn't, I was, my voice breaks. I should have been there, I should have gone with you. Her laughter drifts closer, soft and sweet, the way it used to sound when we played hopscotch in the schoolyard. For a moment, my heart lifts, hope burning in my chest. And then, from the shadows near the game stalls, she steps out. Emily. She looks almost the same as she did the night she vanished, her yellow sundress torn, her hair tangled, her bare feet blackened with dirt. Her face is pale, her eyes too wide. She clutches something in her hand, what looks like a balloon string, though the balloon is shriveled and gray. Emily, my voice cracks. I stumble toward her, reaching out. She tilts her head, watching me. And then she smiles, but the smile is wrong. It stretches too far, the corners of her mouth tearing until her cheeks split. Blood runs down her chin. I freeze. Her voice is layered now, more than one, dozens of children speaking at once. Stay with us. Behind her the shadows move. Small figures step into the light. Children, dozens of them, boys and girls, their faces pale, their clothes tattered, their eyes hollow. They giggle, the sound sharp and broken, their laughter blending into the same chorus that's haunted this place for years. They surround me, closing in, their small hands reaching out. I stumble backward, clutching the teddy bear like a shield. No, my scream rips from my throat, raw and desperate. But Emily steps closer, her torn dress dragging across the gravel, her hollow eyes locked on mine. Stay, she whispers. Forever. The children close in, their fingers brushing my arms, my shoulders, my face. Their skin is ice cold, clammy, too real. The laughter grows deafening, filling my skull until I can't think, can't breathe. And then, just as the panic threatens to swallow me whole, I hear something else. A voice, deep, stern. Claire! It cuts through the chaos like a knife. The children freeze, the laughter halts. I whip around, searching. And there, in the distance, standing under the flickering lights of the Ferris wheel, is a man. Tall, broad-shouldered, his face shadowed by the brim of a hat. He doesn't move, doesn't speak again, just stands there watching me. The children hiss, their hollow eyes snapping toward him. Emily snarls, her mouth splitting wider, the blood dripping faster. The man lifts a hand and beckons me. "Claire," he says again, his voice steady, commanding. "Come." I don't think. I run. The children shriek, their laughter twisting into screams, their small bodies lunging after me. But I sprint toward the man, my sneakers pounding against the ground, the teddy bear clutched in my arms. My flashlight beam cuts wildly through the dark, bouncing off rust and shadows. I reach him, collapsing to my knees, gasping for breath. He kneels beside me, his hand on my shoulder, steady and grounding. Who are you?" I choke out. He lifts his hat, revealing a face weathered with age, his eyes tired but sharp. "Name's Harris," he says simply. "I worked this carnival, back then when she disappeared." My breath catches. "Emily," he nods once grim, "I've seen her. Heard her, 10 years now, you're not crazy, she's here." Tears sting my eyes. Then help me, please, tell me what happened." His gaze hardens, his voice dropping low. "You don't want to know." Behind us, the laughter begins again. Louder this time, closer. Harris tightens his grip on my arm. "But if you're gonna survive this place, you're gonna find out." Detectives return to the carnival, now rusted and broken, to search once more for evidence. The Ferris wheel sat motionless, towering like a skeleton against the night sky. As they stepped inside, they noticed something chilling. Her laughter was no longer faint. It was clear, echoing from the funhouse, bouncing off the walls as if she were right there, running and playing. They followed the sound, but every time they turned a corner, the laughter shifted, mocking them. One officer swore he saw the silhouette of a small girl darting past the mirrors inside the funhouse. When he raised his flashlight, the mirrors all reflected back the same face, Emily's, smiling with hollow black eyes. The officers fled, and the carnival was locked down forever. Yet still, thrill seekers and ghost hunters sneak in. Those who dare step inside the funhouse claim to hear footsteps running behind them, and when they look into the cracked mirrors, they don't see their own reflection, only a little girl grinning back. Local teenagers made the carnival their dare spot. One night, a group sneaked in with flashlights and cameras, determined to prove the ghost stories wrong. At first, it was all jokes and nervous laughter as they filmed themselves climbing the rusted roller coaster tracks and poking around the old prize booths. But everything shifted when they entered the funhouse. The mirrors were shattered and dusty, yet in every reflection, Emily stood behind them, smiling faintly. One boy, frozen with fear, swore he felt a child's hand slip into his. When he screamed and pulled away, no one was there. Their cameras picked up what their eyes could not. A little girl darting across the room in the background, her face pale, her hair tied with the same red ribbon Emily wore the night she vanished. Moments later, their flashlights began to flicker, and the laughter filled the air, sharp, playful, and chilling, as if the carnival itself was alive with her spirit. The teens fled, dropping their cameras. The footage, later found, was so disturbing that it was locked away by police, never to be released. Years passed, but the carnival never slept. Locals swore that at night, the Ferris wheel creaked as if invisible riders circled endlessly, and the carousel spun though no wind touched it. Some nights, passers-by reported hearing Emily's laughter trailing from the funhouse, echoing down the highway, drawing them closer like a siren's call. One retired policeman, haunted by never finding her body, returned to the grounds determined to end the curse. He carried holy water, salt, and a cross, but the carnival swallowed him whole. Neighbors found his abandoned car by the front gate the next morning, engine still running, Headlights still on, door wide open. On the dashboard sat Emily's missing person flyer, freshly folded, though the case had been closed decades ago. And now, every year on the exact night she vanished, the rides blaze to life, music drifts through the dark, and a girl's laughter carries across the abandoned fairgrounds. They say if you follow it, if you dare step inside the gates, you'll never leave. Some claim Emily isn't trapped at all, she's inviting others to join her carnival forever. And when the laughter stops, that's when she's standing right behind you,